Okay, I needed to figure out what the heck was going on. So I was in the wrong browser. What would be what would a live stream be without technical difficulties? Okay. I think we need more light. I think we need more light. Okay, let me plug in my other light. I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay, we're gonna get more light. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, and we're trying to get Mama Remake in. Mama, are you here? My mom's coming. Okay, today we are looking at different ways to fix rips that are like completely invisible, right? So visible mending. Oh, yay! Mama Remake is here. So we are like visible mending is super popular right now, and I get it, like it's super pretty, but what if you want something to be completely invisible when you mend it? So these are some of the tips and tricks I've learned from my theater career for the past, I don't know, how long have I been doing theater? Like 1,000 years. So first up, we have my cute dress that I'm gonna wear. I hate visible mending. I may be old fashioned. I think there's a time and like you say with acrylic thread, there's a time and a place for it, Christine. But I think there's just some places where I don't want a visible mend, like the crotch of my jeans and like on my cute dress. So I don't like, you literally can't, you won't be able to see this. There's like a super teeny tiny tear in this dress. This will work with thank you, Christine. I'll pay you later. I'm going to show you the best method that I've learned to patch these kinds of holes. So my fabric is wrinkly. You see I have my like command station here. I'm going to go ahead and give this a press, and we'll see. There it is. I can't even find my hole when the thing is inside out, but I know it's there. So I'm going to give this a press gently. And the trick with doing a super invisible mend is you need to interface it. So I have my little square of interfacing. It's just fusible interfacing. Let me show you. I'll put it in the chat. I got this from Mood Fabrics. If you're in the United States, this is you could get it. I don't know if they ship internationally. I didn't check before I did this. Oh, Jin wins. Hi. Hello. So I'm going to fuse this bad boy onto my hole. Now you see this patch is quite big. You want your interfacing to be larger than the hole. What you're doing is kind of like stabilizing all around the hole so it doesn't have an opportunity to rip more, because how embarrassing. Oh my goodness. You're like, I just fixed this. How come it's ripping more? Okay, so I'm coming over here. I have my iron set to like a low, and this is definitely synthetic. The interfacing is synthetic fabric, so it will melt if your iron's too hot. So just be aware. If you want to do a test swatch first, that's always good. I've got my big patch in here. I'm going to press. Now there's two schools of thought when you're putting down interfacing. Do you steam? Do you not steam? I have no water in my iron, so we get no steam. Okay, let's see. And I like to, you have to wait a couple seconds because it's hot as the sun right now. I'm going to do a little flick test. Make sure my edges are ironed down. Give it a little flick test. Looks like one corner is still up. Okay. Okay, so now that this is dry, I will hold up this swatch so you can see it on the inside of my dress. Right? Do you see it? Yeah, you can see it, right? That's the inside. So from the outside, you can see nothing because that hole was so tiny. It didn't it literally didn't hardly needs patching. I know it's there. I'm going to sleep better at night knowing that I patched this. Okay. I'm going to use my sewing machine to do this. Clearly, I have my sewing machine all set up right here. You can do zigzag or you can do straight stitch. I am going to do just a straight stitch. I feel like that's going to blend in with the fabric better. Zigzag, you might be able to see some of the stitches. I'm just going to use straight stitch. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. I have a moderator sitting behind me quietly. They'll read out the questions to me. But yeah, so you have options. You can do this by hand. It will be a little bit more stitching. We'll cover what kind of stitch to establish when we get to the next thing. If you saw my sweater that was made of holes, we'll talk about it then. Okay, you might want to turn down the volume on your device because this is going to be loud. I mean, it's a sewing machine. My mom thinks it sounds like, what did you say, Mom? It sounded like I was a jet engine. Vroom, vroom. Noise. And I'm just going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I mean, not to make a lump, but back and forth. I've gone one way. Now I'm going to go the other way. Let's sink the needle in. Turn and pivot, my favorite.
Christine says, please move your camera down a scooch so we can see what you're doing with the needle.
Good call, Christine. Nice. Okay, good. Okay, so I am doing just forward and reverse. And now I'm reversing. And I'm kind of doing like the fancy vacuum thing where you go down and then you come off a little bit and then you go down and you come off a little bit. It's I probably should do it on a white piece of fabric so you can see it bigger, but we'll get there. We'll get there. If you don't understand, then we'll talk about it. Essentially, I'm reweaving this area, but just with thread and a sewing machine. So much stitching for one little hole. But I want this dress to last. I've had this dress for like over 10 years. I want it to last maybe another 10. I don't know. It's going to turn into shreds on my body. That's for sure. I see a little spot that looks a little light. So I'm going to come down here and get it.
Christine has a question for knit fabric like t-shirts where your cat's Mr. Smooshy Face has pops a stitch. Will this be invisible?
We'll talk about knits in the next one. I can't move the camera closer, but if you guys, how can we do this? Let me, I don't know if I can move the camera closer because it's my desktop camera. I'm not super good at live streams yet, but I'm testing this out to see if it works, and then if it works, then we'll do more. But I'll show you up close. I'll like hold it up, you know, make it guru style. Okay. Okay. This little patch. Is it invisible? No, I totally punked you. But it's less visible, right? So we're not going to see this in the whole overall pattern of my dress. I've even lost it now. Yes, okay, so it's more invisible than I thought. cut my threads because nobody likes that. Yeah. So you can't really see it because it's supposed to be an invisible stitch. Do we see it? It's this right here. I'll put it in the light so you guys can see the stitches. Barely. You can barely see that. So it's very, very subtle, but it's not invisible. And then you can see my stitches. No, you cannot see my stitches on the back because it's dark on dark. Sorry. So what would you like to see me do just on like a plain piece of like white cloth? What I kind of did, I'll do like a rough, yeah, right? Pixie dust thing. Oh, hey, oh, so good. Yes. On a Mac, you can make it larger on your screen. I'm going to have to do some research and see how we could do this. Okay, so I'm going to, yeah, do we want me to do it on a plain piece of muslin just so you can kind of get a gist? I have my muslin right here. Knit fabric, yeah, okay, so I think we're good. I think we kind of all understand. Use a straight stitch, use a zigzag. Oh, okay, yes, we're getting yeses in. Okay, I will absolutely do it. And I will make my stitches a little bit bigger so you guys can see. So I did make my stitch length super, I made my stitch length super tiny, and I did a lot of stitches. I'll make my stitch length bigger. Whoa, that is a zigzag. Clearly, I'm just moving all the wrong dials. Okay, so I'm going to do this really big so you guys can see it. I'm kind of like whooshing it around. Okay, so I would not stop here. My first set of stitches would look like this. Whoa, I can't see myself. So my first set of stitches look like this, and then I go the other way and make it like I go this way, and then I go this way. So my bun went good with that one. And I'll do this one a lot closer together. Okay. And this is just the other direction. Oh, it's too fast. My machine. You have to ask it nicely to cut the thread. Right, that looks like a mess, but when they're closer together and the thread matches the item that you're sewing, it looks really great. Is that clear? Where you get thumbs up. I don't know, can you do thumbs up on this one? Yes, is there a point at which the hole is too big for this kind of fix? I would say larger than a quarter. That is such a good question, Sarah. You would want to, so larger than a quarter. So that would be, how big is a quarter? So like if it was bigger than this is a little bit bigger than a quarter. I would say you would need to patch it with a different fabric. If the hole is jagged, can you still use this method to fix it? Absolutely. Absolutely, Priscilla, you totally can. Yeah. I'll fix your jeans when I come home, Mom. Is it so like another good wear and tear place is the crotch of jeans? I don't have the chat, like I don't have the link ready to go, but I did fix some jeans, and I have a link. So the rule of thumb is if it's bigger than a quarter, then you need to go ahead and patch it. If you find a fabric that's similar, you would do it the same way I just did it. You would fuse the patch into the hole, but you would use you'd have to like cut it out, and you would use the like Stitch Witchery, which is just glue. It's like a sheet of glue, but it's not interfacing, it's just glue. So you have to like cut it just right. Yeah, Priscilla, my mom's here. But I can cover that in a later episode or another live if you'd like. Okay, so I was going to do the next one. Yes. Okay, so since we have that, like two people are asking the question, so I'm going to go into, I know this is like so boring. Oh, Same outfit video. Yeah, oh, I'm gonna do woven. I'm gonna do a knit something right now. So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna get the video up just so you guys can see. It's actually a playlist. There's two items on this. No. Where's my jeans fixing playlist? Oh no. Let's go back. So I'll give you the thigh fix for jeans. Invisible mending for jeans. I found my video. So I'm gonna link this. I'm gonna link this in the chat for you guys. So this is how to fix the thigh rub area in your jeans. That will help you guys a lot. Okay, so this next one, it might be a little bit frustrating for you guys because you won't be able to see what I'm doing, but let's walk through it so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's move on to knit fabric. So where's my sweater? I organized myself before I started, so now I have to find my sweater. Where does my sweater go? Oh, he's on the floor. Oh, my chair is on it. Here we go. Okay, so my sweater is made of holes. I paid extra for the holes. So it's just like, it's just made of holes, right? So I'm gonna show you on this, even though like I would, okay, so one, you want it invisible, and two, I'm gonna keep my holes because they're my special holes, but it's my punk rock sweater, as someone said. So I'm going to show you how to patch this. Where's one that's super annoying? This one's gonna, I can tell this one's gonna make my sweater fall apart faster. Okay, what I'm gonna do, let's get this. What do we want to do? We want to do this. That might make it easier for you guys to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an embroidery hoop. And I'm going to hoop this up. Now, how many of you guys have embroidered before? Let me know in the chat. No? Maybe? So what we're going to do is we're going to hoop this up, but I don't want to pull on the fabric too much and stretch it too much, right? So this is like one of those Goldilocks moments. Whoa, this is way too tight already. Let's do this. Okay, here we go. I'm not even centered. What? Hold on. Right? I'm so sorry. We have to make it worse before it's better, Christine. So here is, I've hooped it up. I'm trying not to pull these threads too much. You can kind of see, so the way to double check is if any of your lines in your knits, because if you hold up knits, you can see like the ridges of the weave, or the knit. It's not woven, it's knit. If any of them are warped or weird, then you have to make sure that those lines are straighter. So we don't want to pull it too much. It's Goldilocks. So sorry. Oh, absolutely. Yes. So can I wear something light colored so you guys can see it? Yes. Here is some fabric just here on the ground. I will put it like a bib. There. I'm so fancy. Look at my fancy. Look at my fancy fabric on. Woo! Just should have thought this out a little better. Okay. There we go. Here is my hole. I'm looking to make sure my lines are not super warped, right? None of them are bowing out or going weird or doing anything annoying. Oh, we could put that light right in your eyes, right? So we can see that. We all could see that. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this yarn. Why this yarn? We're supposed to do like invisible mending. This is what I have. And if I did a dark color, then you wouldn't be able to see it because it'd be invisible. So you want to pick a yarn that is similar to the knit of your sweater. I'm specifically talking about sweaters, not t-shirts. I'll have to cover t-shirts later. Here is this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a special needle. I've got my crafty needles here. I'm going to just get an embroidery or slash, it's just a yarn darner. I love saying that, a yarn darner. And I'm going to, again, we're going to reweave this, but it's really like weaving. You're going to have to, I know my impromptu cowl neck. Ooh, I like cowl neck better than bib. I'm going to reweave this. Unbeweavable. So I'm threading my, I think I might need a bigger eye needle. No, I did it. Okay, pull it back. So I've got my yarn on here. And same kind of principle. Like if we think back to the last one, I went one way first, and then I'm going the other way next. So I'm going to pull up this. Let's see if I can stitch. Okay, here we go. I'm going to take a little stitch a ways away. So I'm doing this like 1/2 inch away from my thing. Yeah, warp and weft, exactly. Those of you who don't know what that means, I'm so sorry. We can talk about fabric later. So can you see this little, oh no, it's like a super tiny little dash. I'm starting outside of my, outside of my hole. This yarn's a hair too big. You can't even see this from the front yet, but you can totally see it from the back. Oh, the packet of needles. Okay, absolutely. It's just the John James, oh, it's backwards. It's just the John James craft needles. I really like their, I really like how hardy these needles are. They don't break as much when I sew a lot of weird stuff. When I was doing millinery a lot, I only liked using the John James ones because they wouldn't snap when I went through a lot of fabric. Okay, here is my next stitch. You guys, I'm going to do a couple of these. I probably should have started this before the live stream because this is just like now you're just watching me. Here, I'll hold it up. Ooh, taking a couple stitches. So you'll have to identify what your sweater is made out of. You can look at the fiber content. This sweater is just acrylic. So I'm using acrylic yarn for this. But if you have a yarn, if you have your sweater that's like a little bit more fancy, then you want to use a fancier yarn. I'm also using this yarn is a little bit too like chubs for this. Like it's like clearly a size or two bigger. So it's a little bit challenging, but do your best. So see how I'm making these like parallel lines. That's it. Oh, it was the right way for you? Oh, good. It looks backwards to me. I'm going to keep going. Okay. For the sake of, oh my gosh, getting out of here at a normal time, I've got my warp done. Now I'm going to do my weft. The way to think about this is if it's a woven fabric, it's weft to right. So I like to say it weft to right, and then warp. The long threads are like warp speed. That's from Priscilla. Do you remember Manny? Manny said warp speed. I am going to under one, over one, under one, over one. I'm just weaving it unbeweavable. I'm just weaving it in. You're like, wait, I thought we were doing knits. We are. This is going to be a wee bit stretchy. But behave yourselves. We're on camera right now. Okay, good. And I'm going to take a stitch. So I'm going to take a really big exaggerated stitch so you can see what I'm doing. I wove it in. Here's my big exaggerated stitch. Will I actually take this stitch? No, I'm going to make it way smaller. It's called a basket weave. Yeah, balance weave or basket weave, exactly. Those of you who are Girl Scouts will know how to do this because you made pot holders. I punked myself because I didn't do this whole hole. Okay, went over, now I go under, over, and oops, that's over, under, over, right? So I'm just going to be building back the fabric in that hole, right? Does that make sense to you guys? I punked myself because I didn't do the full hole. I should have done a smaller hole for us right now because I feel like I'd just be stitching here forever. And like I'd be totally into it, but you guys would be like, wait, what? Yeah, cool. Yay. If you have any questions about this one, please let me know. But that's basically how you fix a sweater. Now, I saw t-shirt questions. I'll have to do a little more research. I usually don't care if my t-shirts get holes, so I don't really fix the holes in my t-shirts. But I can do some research and talk about holes for t-shirts. Yeah, yay. Okay, good. Okay, if you have questions, let me know in the chat. But I think I was going to wind it up right now, but let me know if you have questions. I'm going to put this aside. We're going to do closing kind of questions from you guys. Yay. Yay. All right. So I'm going to write this down because you did ask me about t-shirts. So I'm going to make a note. Yeah, seriously. Cats, am I right? So we want to do t-shirt repair. Okay. I wrote that down on my list. Invisible mending for t-shirts. I'll get this like hot spot off my face. Yay, you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, you could do the same thing, the sewing thread and lots of patience. I would also like maybe think about restabilizing. Let me show you. So March meant, so this is I really like hers. She does visible mending, right? Because her name is at Visible Mending, but she's the one that kind of started the March mending challenge. And there's some really interesting, like she has really beautiful mending. Yeah. Yeah, cool, you guys. Thank you so much for coming. I should have warned you. I was thinking about doing this for like a half hour questions, and then we'll call it a morning. Thank you guys. It's so nice to see some of your guys's, some names I recognized. And my mom. Super tiny knit fabric. Yeah. Yeah. I would say that's something that I have to think about, how to fix the tiny knits. I think this is the weaving, doing the weaving would be the best thing, but I think you would want to do that with like this kind of thread. You wouldn't want to use something that's like a yarn. You would want to use like thread. Yeah. Mom, you're so popular. Yay, Mama Remake is here. Cool. Awesome, you guys. Yeah, so I'm going to end it here. Bye, you guys. Yay. All right.